We race into the second week of August here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, coming off a big Friday night last week and have a very busy Friday night this week. Double late model features. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's talk about the SK Modifieds. The SK 5K last week with Keith Rocco finally getting back to victory lane.
Finally is right. It only took 11 attempts to get that first SK 5K win. It was the last thing he really had on the SK Modified resume to complete, and he got it done. He joins Mike Christopher Jr. as the only drivers to win the TC13 shootout, the SK 5K, and the Senators Cup. Big win for them because it's been an up and down season for that 22 team. They've shown glimpses of hope with top fives and even a podium, but not enough to get to victory lane. He got it done, had to hold off Michael Jarvis Jr. and Mikey Flynn. That's a Keith Rocco Racing 1-2-3, by the way. That's a big podium for Rocco. Last year, first win, backed it up with another win the next week. Can he do it again? We'll see, but Jarvis was fast. Flynn was fast again. Todd Owen, back-to-back fourth-place runs. A lot of good cars still out there. We'll see what happens this Friday.
Sometimes momentum is everything. Keith Rocco has it right now. Mikey Flynn has it right now with back-to-back podium finishes, including a win. But how about the point leader? Andrew Moeller, still atop the standings, but I feel like we haven't heard as much from him in recent weeks.
Yeah, he hasn't had the top fives he had in the beginning of the season. I think it's his third straight finish outside the top five. Granted, they've all been top tens. That's how tough this division is because every week you got guys like Corey DiMatteo that break out, Mike Christopher Jr. that break out, but then all of a sudden they're back to running 6th, 7th, 8th. No one is consistently up front every single week. You can finish top 5 every week. You can finish top 7, top 8, but we haven't found someone up there in the podium every Friday night. That's how competitive the SK Modified division is. Should you discount Andrew Moeller? Absolutely not. He'll still be up there fighting for the championship, eventually fighting for that win. It might be a bit of a lull point for that 85 team, but Moeller understands the big picture, and he understands that not every week is going to be perfect. They'll be back to fight for the win very soon.
In the limited late models last week, our 10th different winner in 12 races, and it's the first time in 2 years that this driver visited Napa Victory Lane.
That driver is Gary Patnode, and man, was that needed. He said in Victory Lane he wasn't sure if he still got it, but he was fast. And he has shown speed this year. Yep. He hadn't won a race, but he had a couple podiums this season. Just needed a bit more in that car, more consistency from green flag to checkered flag. Yeah, he started pole last Friday, but he held off Jeremy Lavoie and multiple restarts at the end with guys like Devin Jensick and Rich Hammond behind him to get that win. That's a huge boost in momentum for Patnode. He sometimes is hard on himself on how he drives out there on the track. He feels like he has the car that can win. He feels like he can win himself. It just never came together. Finally did on Friday. Now he can have that momentum going in the right direction and get more good runs in the future.
Cue the broken record, but Jeremy Lavoie has yet to visit Victory Lane, and he's a 3-time defending champion. All these different winners, and he is yet to get to Victory Lane.
You know what's funny, though? I saw my Facebook memories about 3 years ago. We were just talking about how Jeremy Lavoie finally got his first win of the year. Last year was a bit of an anomaly when you look back in the 2020s because every other year it's taken him until halfway through the season or even beyond that to get that first win. He's consistent. He's podium top 5. Yeah, he's not winning. Not yet, at least. I'm sure he will. He's a 3-time champion. He's won so many races in this division. It's a matter of when. He got a podium last week. That's a step in the right direction after a not-so-stellar run the week before. But we'll see what they can do. I think this month we'll see him battle for the win, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him become the 11th different winner in this division.
Speaking of the number 11, the Street Stocks were able to complete their race a week ago, and a very familiar name in Napa Victory Lane for the 8th time in 12 races, Travis Haidar.
Nice segue there.
You like that?
Yeah, yes, that was actually really good off the top, too. Travis Haidar was very impressive last week. Yeah, he made his way through the field, but he passed Downey on the outside. That's extremely difficult, especially when you got 2 cars, the fastest 2 cars you can say on any given week in this division in Haidar and Downey. I mean, he just made a clean pass up top. Yeah, they got together coming off of 2 when Haidar got into the back of Downey, but after that, he just shot around the outside the 42 and pulled away to win. That's a very, very impressive move and says a lot about how good that 11 car is and how good Haidar is. 8th win of the year, as you mentioned, points race-wise. Still a little bit behind in points. It's about 20, 22 points or so behind Downey. So Downey's main goal, obviously, is to win, but championship-wise, keep up with that 11 car every Friday night, keep the nose clean, and stay with him.
In the SK Light Modifieds, well, they were off last week because of Mother Nature, rain coming into this racetrack before they were able to get out onto the speedway, but it's still Tyler Chapman. that's in command of that division.
Yeah, he's been fast all year. 5 wins out of 10 so far this season, but you still got guys like Nick Hovey. If he can keep his nose clean, he's up there battling for the win. Chris Matthews is our most recent winner, and he always sneaks up there. Even though he's a top 5 car almost every week, 1 week or 2 weeks here and there, you'll see him up there battling for the win. He got it done last time for his 21st career SK Light win, but Alex Pearl, bad luck last event. Didn't finish the race, but he was a winner the race before that. And you still got drivers like Amanda West, Megan Fuller, these drivers who are up there running top 5, top 10, but not quite battling for the win. Jason Chapman's had a lot of bad luck, but we've seen him run top 5, top 10 more often in recent weeks. Chris Vians, he's run top 10 multiple times. Matt Brewer. So a lot of drivers can still have a chance to win, but every week in terms of the fastest car, it's still that 41.
That rained out race for the SK Light Modified. It's expected to be made up here in the next couple of weeks. Stay tuned to Stafford Speedway social media and StaffordSpeedway.com for that forthcoming info. The late models also rained out last week. They will make up that race this week, so 2 features for them. They've had a wild year. Kevin Gambacorta, Paul Verrecchio, 1 and 2 in points, and now by single digits. Could be a big swing on Friday night.
Well, 2 features. You got 16 to 18 cars in the field. That swing can be as big as 50 points, maybe even more than that. So it's going to be very interesting. It's been a long time. I've never seen late models run double features in my 5 years here. So how do you approach the races? Do you take it easy in the first feature? It is a points race, so you still got to race hard, but you don't want to put your equipment at risk. The last feature, we saw Daryl Keene and Al Saunders both crash out early in the race. It's a similar trend to last year. Got to get past those first 3 to 5 laps, and then things might settle down from there. But yes, get through the first feature, which is the first feature of the night. Then you got to do one more at the end of the day. And that's going to be very interesting to me because I think not only is that 30-lapper to end the night an indicator of who might be the fastest, who can adjust the best, but they have a 50-lapper later this season in about a month. That's probably going to be around the same time as their second feature this Friday night. So that could be a sign of what's to come when they have their biggest race of the year.
Going to be interesting for the late models with twin feature events this Friday. Also on the card for this Friday, Kids Night, Spear Brothers Kids Night, and a couple of big wheel races, some of my favorite of the year.
Yeah, they're always competitive on that front straightaway, pedaling their way to victory. We've seen one kid, Mr. Davenport, Joey Davenport. He's won, I think, 3 of the last 4. He's always been fast. Now we're previewing the big wheel races and actually mentioning names. I mean, we've seen guys like Jacob Gray out there. We've seen Midford's kids up there, from the older group to the younger group, but everyone wants to get that win. It's a great crowd in the stands on the front stretch with all of our Friday night drivers right there cheering them on. We saw Moeller wave the checkered flag last time. It's just a fun event overall, and I can't wait to see who's going to come out on top.
All courtesy of Spear Brothers this Friday night. Couple of big wheel races, twin late model races, all the weekly divisions in action here on the Stafford Half Mile. It all gets underway just after 6 o'clock, and if you can't be here, you can always tune us in on Flow Racing.